fancy intro music. Yeah! Woohoo!
Welcome back to the channel, Star Trek Fleet Command fans. Today, I actually want to go over what is one of my favorite things this game does, and that is the trivia set. Also, we have a new event. I kind of want to cover a little bit about the temporal artifacts. Obviously, this is going to be applying to people 40 plus, but we'll cover that in a bit, discussing whether it's too hard, too high, etc. Because it is like 27 days worth of like saving up to make this temporal artifact hunt happen, but we'll cover that after we get done with these. And again, I love the quizzes. This quiz is right up my alley. You know, last month they did this very crazy cipher thing. You had to go off game, you had to talk to content creators, that's fine. But I'm not a real big fan of that. I prefer to have everything I need in game, and if I don't know it, then I can come to something like a content creator, like you might be doing here, and find out the information there. So let's discuss it. Let's go through it. And I did wait till Monday. Obviously, this was a 2-day thing over Saturday and Sunday. You know what? I'm going to let y'all enjoy the live streams and not make y'all watch an extra video over the weekend. So let's pop on in and see where we're at. Number one is going to be which character stated this quote. I personally believe these are quite easy, but I know not everybody's a huge Star Trek fan like I am. I'm a diehard. So which character stated this? I have been and I always shall be your friend. And that is our good friend, truly, Spock. So we got to destroy one hostile in a system called Banks. Now what I'll be doing here is showing y'all where all of these are actually at, because well, I just think that's fair. So if you click on the little button down at the bottom, you can go to System Lookup. For those that didn't know, we actually did not have this back in the day. How many players were here back when we could not look up systems? So if you just go to Go, you will find Banks right here, and you can send a ship. And just for reference, it is right to the west of purple space, which is outlaw space. So right to the west, you got Banks there. So that will be question number 1A for Spock. At the end of this video, I will give you just a brief rundown on all of them. Question number 2 is going to be which episode introduced the Romulan warbird. Now this one, I wouldn't call it kind of tricky, but I think there's a context clue that gives it away if you don't know the answer, and it's where this is taking place. Unification 3, Enemy Within, Arena, Neutral Zone. So an episode called the Neutral Zone. Okay, well that seems like a given right there. Kajal, got to go get one hostile in Kajal. So let's go to our lookup right here, and we can find where that's at. Again, great system. We did not have the bookmark system when the game first came out. It's one of the quality of life updates that they add that maybe you take for granted. You don't realize how valuable it is until you need it. So here's Kajal. You're going to go destroy one hostile there, and it is right below the Borg Mega Cube. Next up, question number 3. You're going to see some of these answers like, wow, they're stringing the same one together. But moving on to number 3, which character stated this quote? I am a doctor, not a bricklayer. Should be easy for a lot of you who grew up with the original series, but that is the one, the only Dr. McCoy. Do love how they gave you a list of different doctors here with Phlox, Beverly Crusher, etc. But then you go mine one par steal. You can do this anywhere. It doesn't matter what the par steal is or where it's at. In fact, if you go ahead and click that button, speaking of quality of life updates, hit the mining, you can then just scroll down and see Trit and see par steal right here. I think I went down to Dolpha when I did mine because I was already right there. So it should be quitty quick. All right, moving on to the next question. Moving on to what, number 4? Yeah, number 4. All right, which character said this quote? My crew is my family, Kirk. Is there anything you would not do for family? Now, I love this because we're going back to what I've harped on as like my favorite Star Trek movie of all time, and that is Wrath of Khan. That's going to be the man, the myth, the legend, Khan, right there. It means I got to go mine one titanium. One titanium, which as you saw, was right next to where we actually were in space, and I got the opportunity to fly right onto Aral. Great place, wonderful place. Love visiting. It's amazing. You should go sometime. Yeah. Elon Musk says we're going to be sending people to Mars in about 4 years, so yeah, we'll get to that system in no time at all. All right, moving on to question number 5. We are getting through the first day's worth now. So number 5 is right here. What is the primary armament of the Hirogen? Now, this one might be one that not everybody has memorized because, again, how many of y'all watched all the Star Trek? But plasma torpedoes, Tetryon cannon, isokinetic cannon, or bat'leth. Now, immediately, process of elimination, wipe out the bat'leth. It's clearly not the bat'leth. And then if you remember, plasma torpedoes are typically used by our, green-blooded friends. So that would leave maybe 2 options. The answer, though, is Tetryon. I'm not going to make y'all sit here and guess it. But go to Kara Alpha, and that's going to be another low-level system. Again, all these should be easy warp range finds. Even my level 19 account was doing these. So Kara Alpha right here. and just send a ship as far as where it's at. If you go to the south of where we were at, you're kind of like in the middle of nothing, but that's why we have the lookup system, so you can find it that way. Switch that back to default so you can find it, but there's Kara Alpha right there. Moving on to number 6. Now this is part of day 2's with the quiz. Number 6 here is going to be, which Star Trek group of characters stated this quote, "Resistance is inevitable"? Now, it's a trick question, as the quote, obviously, if you're a huge Trek fan, is "resistance is futile," which would be the Borg, but this is none of the above. So we need to go to Little Dove, which, by the way, is that a name of a real system? Little Dove. All right, number 6 is Little Dove. We'll show you where it's at on the map. And again, doing this simply for those who benefit from it. Some people like to know the answers and where things are at. So you back it out right here, and you'll see Little Dove is very close where we were just at with Kara Alpha, east of the territory systems. Finally, number 7, we'll go ahead and do that one here. Number 7 is going to be, what kind of weapon is Georgiou's weapon of choice? Warhammer, spear, sword, or mace? The answer is C, sword. Now that one I don't expect as many people to know. You would have really been following the newer Treks that have been coming out over the past decade, but sword. So we got to go to Simon. So if we go to Simon, that'll give us our next hit. So we'll go ahead and hop up to here. And again, I do love this. Like I love Star Trek trivia. I'm a huge Trekkie. So hopefully y'all enjoy these type of events as well. I just don't like the ciphers and stuff, but love these. So there's Simon, a little bit to the northeast of where we just were. So that's moving on to the next one. Now, going to question number 8. We've only got a couple more left here, so enjoy it as we wrapping it up. Which character say this quote, "Don't apologize for excellence"? Man, if you know the character, it's right out of their mouth. Like you can just tell they're the one who would say something like that. That's going to be Captain Lorca down there at D. So you need to go to Groshi. Groshi. Like Jim Croce, but Groshi. Yeah, so go down there and take a little gander at any hostile you so choose, and you will finish it out. And there's Groshi right there. So click it, and again, just send a hostile. And odds are, if you're looking, hey, am I in the right system? If you see other people there, you probably are. So this one is going to be due east of a little bit where we were. Again, we're sticking in these low level systems. 2 more questions, then we'll be done with the Star Trek Day events. And we'll go over to number 9. Who's the captain of the USS Enterprise G? If you've watched Star Trek Picard and saw how it ended, you should know this one. A little bit of a spoiler for those who haven't, but it is 7 of 9. So we're going to go back to mine more tritanium. You can use the same system we just did. So mine tritanium, and last but not least, finally, question number 10. Should be an easy one. The character stated this quote. Which character? Things are only impossible until they're not. So it could have been Kirk, Picard, Deanna Troi, or Data. A little bit of a hint there that it gave you 3 Next Generation characters. The answer is B, Captain Picard. So go destroy 1 hostile in Teoji. Let's back it out real quick. Teoji right over here. And as you can see, by even me just making this video, getting to like 10 minutes just to make the video, this can be a task, a little time consuming, but if you already have the answers, it'll be easy peasy. And there's the level 2 system to Joey right there at Deuce South, one of the furthermost southern systems you can go in normal space. So there you have it, the answers and the key right there. But if you want the short end of it, the answer starts with, actually I have them written down on my phone, so we'll do it that way. It is A, D, 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 B, D, C, B, A, B. So there's the 10 different answers. And last but not least, I said we're going to bring this up. So I do agree that this milestone is quite high. Obviously, level depending on where you're at, to maybe how easy it is for you to obtain your temporal disruptors. So if you're doing your silent hostile, you can get 450 a day from that, plus your 150 draw. That's what, about 27 days worth of saving up to be able to complete this. For those who pull every day, you're not going to touch this one. Now, I do want to note that it does say the word quantum on it. And the reason I bring this up is we've gotten used to the word heroic. Quantums are supposed to be heroics, but harder. So it is meant to be a spin event. If you go into your chat, or I'm sorry, your store, you will see they are selling some of the new ones out. Now, I'm not recommending you buy these. If you were a player that saved up your temporal stuff, then you can be able to finish it, but it is meant to drive to those packs. And I just wanted y'all to be made aware of that fact. More importantly, I wanted to show y'all all the answers to these questions because I really enjoy the quizzes, and this type of Star Trek content, I feel like it's important. It's nice to dive into the actual lore of Star Trek, the actual lore. You know what I mean? The actual Star Trek lore? Okay, maybe not everybody's as annoyed as some of you were, but who knows? Maybe you chuckled. Anyway, wrapping it up. Live long and plunder. Stay safe with the Space Cowboys. Deuces, that's me. Catch you on the next Star Trek Fleeking Man video. As always, appreciate y'all, and see you on the next one.
An even better outro than the intro. For the Empire and glory to your house.